Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Why is the CIA FBI terrified of Kash Patel? We're going to discuss this, and it's a possibility that he might not find place in this administration. Certainly, there are talks that maybe his, there is a lot of misinformation campaign being carried out by the rank and file inside FBI and CIA. Allegedly, I've seen some posts to this effect. And what happens, what Trump decides, it's Trump's alone to decide. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Same thing about Marco Rubio's appointment to Secretary of State. Still no official confirmation yet. And there are a few people saying that maybe this is not the person that he's going to choose. We don't know. And so far, every appointment that Trump has made has been non-Hispanic, non-Asian. And that's another thing to ponder about, whether he'll try to restore some balance. So we'll see. That is also again up in the air. Now I have a small slide deck to share with you. Request to all of you to please like this video, and we can then hope that this will go viral. So why is the CIA terrified of Kash Patel? I'll just give you one incident to tell you what happened in that incident and why some of the inner workings of the FBI and perhaps the CIA got exposed. Next slide, please. So US President-elect Donald Trump has appointed John Ratcliffe, and this as the CIA director. He was the DNI, Director of National Investigation, and he also got into trouble. His nomination as director was not confirmed by the Senate in 2019, 2020, when he was the DNI, and there were many reasons, but Senate was the Republicans were not a majority in the Senate at that point of time. That explains a lot of this. Is all completely partisan. They tried to show some things that John Ratcliffe said that he had put some terrorist in prison in Texas, and that did not happen. Anyway, so that's all done and dusted. Ratcliffe is now the director of CIA. Again, he will have to undergo Senate confirmation, but I think this will sail through because now the Senate is a Republican majority. Next, we have situation about what is going to happen at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Christopher Wray, the current director, is expected to resign, make way for a new appointee that Trump might choose. This is what is wildly being talked about. We don't know if that position might go to Kash Patel. We have to wait and see. We don't know yet. Now, it is possible that Kash could be asked to serve as a deputy director in CIA and talk about or deal with the terrorism related ops as well as China. His potential appointment has raised concern. Like I said, there are lots of articles. You can go and look at at Google. You can just Google why CIA is afraid of Kash Patel or why FBI is afraid, and you will get a lot of data. Now, there is one particular incident that he really followed up as a loyalist of Trump. And this is what set the cat among the pigeons, in my opinion. Also, he wrote a book. Let's find out a little bit more about this incident. Next slide, please. Government Gangsters was the name of the book. And his name is Kashyap something Vinod Patel. It's a pretty long name. Outlines plans for restructuring agencies as to how they should really be restructured and what their core mission should be. Known for his unwavering loyalty to Donald Trump, his close association with the former president raises concerns about potential politicization of intelligence operations under his leadership. I don't know whether it is politicization or not, but certainly FBI has had its share of controversies. So we'll go and look at some of these things, how everything falls into one big mess, and how somebody who's going to be taking over the leadership at FBI is going to have to unravel all these things and put the direction straight for the FBI to act. Certainly, I have not been impressed with the FBI's record. They have still not caught the people who set fire to the Indian consulate on July 3rd, 2023. I mean, this is something that Jaishankar should be pounding his table and asking, what the hell have you done? And the same breath also say, why are you letting Pannun run with his mouth? So I don't know, guys. Diplomacy is something that I don't understand. If I were the Minister of External Affairs, anytime you have been embarrassed by something, you need to put the embarrassment back on the other side. do it on the one case that they have not been able to reply. Even if they do release details now, you can always say it's too little, too late. You never wanted to solve this thing. See, there are ways to try and keep the issue in the front burner. Anyway, that's just me. Next, please. He has played a significant role in investigating the origins of the FBI's probe into alleged Russian interference in the 2016 US elections. See, the Democrats, when Trump came to power, they alleged that the Russian interference was there and that Russia had planted some things, and that came as political campaigning. They specifically mentioned Facebook as one of the people who had enabled a lot of these things. In fact, if you remember, after the results came, in 2016 November, and before Trump took office, Barack Obama famously told this guy, what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg, that look, you are entertaining thoughts of becoming the president yourself. First, deal with this. Your company is in the crosshairs of having abetted a Trump win, and you get all the thing. Like Cambridge Analytica was again believed to have helped Trump win in 2016. There's a guy called Steve Bannon who's very controversial himself. He's actually spent some time in jail. I'm going over a lot of things here because I'm just trying to tell you that there was a certain thing that happened, and how it concluded, I'm going to come to you that in the next few slides. Okay. Now, during his tenure as a senior aide on the House Intelligence Committee, Patel scrutinized the actions of FBI officials, including Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. The Z in Strzok is silent. Patel's efforts contributed to uncovering these communications, which were later publicly released by the Department of Justice. The release intensified debates over potential biases within the FBI structure. Next one, please. His investigation work highlighted concerns about the conduct of these two individuals, Strzok and Page, influencing subsequent discussions and inquiries into the FBI's handling of the Russian interference. He had been a critic of FBI's handling of Russia and the alleged internal bias against Trump. See what happened. You'll see here. So yeah, next slide. That's fine. You've automatically got it. So there is a whole bunch of text that has been shared between Strzok, who's in one department, and Lisa Page, who's in a different department. Both are working together on this, whether there was Russian interference. But even before the verdict is reached, the bias that they had against Trump comes through very, very, starkly. And those are the text messages they were trading among each other. Looks like they also had an affair around the same time. I'm not going to look too much into that, but all this stuff has come out in the revelations that Kash Patel made. They have exchanged close to 50,000 text messages, many of which expressed anti-Trump sentiments, including one where Strzok said, "No, he won't. We will stop it," in response to Page's question about Trump becoming president. You see how there was so much. This is those 2.5 months time between the time Trump was elected to the time he actually got sworn in as the president. Next one, please. Okay, got it. Republicans argued the text showed bias, questioning the integrity of both the Clinton email investigation and the Russia probe. Trump frequently used the text to discredit the investigation, calling them hate-filled and biased. The DOJ's Inspector General criticized Strzok and Page for the appearance of impropriety due to the text, but found no political bias in the FBI's decision not to charge Clinton. This is for the email gate, and that resulted, well, among other things, in Benghazi, the US ambassador actually being killed in Benghazi. We have actually, there's a movie now in, if I remember correctly, Netflix, or maybe it's in Amazon Prime, about what really happened in Benghazi. It's a very punch to the gut kind of a movie. A veteran counterintelligence agent, Strzok was involved in both the Clinton email server investigation and the Russia probe before being reassigned and later fired in 2018. Strzok was removed from Mueller's team and reassigned to human resources in 2017. This is euphemism for, being sent to the doghouse. He was eventually fired from the FBI in August 2018 with Trump welcoming the decision. The scandal heightened criticism of the FBI, with GOP lawmakers and Trump questioning the Russia investigation's credibility, which remains a point of contention in political discourse. Trump went through quite a few set of FBI directors. Comey was the first one he fired. I think he fired the next one also, if I remember correctly. And there were a lot of pushbacks there. You have to go back to that era. Even I used to kind of feel like, why is Trump going so aggressively after all these people? Until I started listening to many other broadcasts, and then I kind of got the central picture. Sometimes it's very easy to jump to conclusions. And I would again advise people, don't take one side of the story, look at the other side too. Somewhere in between, the truth will lie, and you will be able to figure out where that is. Now, FBI lawyer Lisa Page was briefly part of Mueller's team. She discussed the Clinton email server investigation with Peter Strzok, warning against being too aggressive as Clinton might be our next president. I don't know. They shared fair amount of text that would be more like of a personal nature. I mean, you could talk, and you could even preface it with off the record, in my opinion, that sort of stuff, to say some things like, be careful, don't be too aggressive, Clinton could be our next president. But to exchange text where you are incriminating yourself could be a bit of a problem. Although what happened here is slightly different. Known for expertise in money laundering and organized crime, Page was removed from the investigation in September 2017 and left the FBI in May 2018. She was later subpoenaed by the Congress, where she was described as cooperative and credible. Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, often referred to Strzok and Page's messages, was implicated in the controversy. Strzok discussed an insurance policy against Trump's election in a message referencing Andy McCabe. Sorry about that. McCabe's wife, Dr. Jill McCabe, received campaign funds tied to Clinton, which drew criticism from Trump. He questioned McCabe's impartiality and accused him of bias in tweets, especially in light of McCabe's wife's Democratic run in Virginia. This is the deputy director or assistant director of the FBI. His wife runs as a Democrat. Who else ran and won actually as a Democrat to the 2024 Congress? Wife of the NSA, Jake Sullivan. And the interesting thing is, she did not use the surname Sullivan in her name. I have that data. If Sachin can pull out that data, what the name of somewhere in the New Hampshire area is where she won that. A Democratic candidate. She was against a Chinese American lady. Very tough fight that lady put up. My God, there is one debate going back and forth where she really tore her to pieces. But Jake Sullivan's wife prevailed. Now she's a Democrat. So you can see that the bias of these organizations having party affiliations. I mean, you can't say that I am not of the Democratic Party, I am the national security advisor to the whole country, when your own wife is running for office on a Democratic ticket. It's just, it doesn't hold water. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, Kashyap, Pramod. I think there's also Vinod Patel. There's a Vinod also I saw. I mean, it could be just one person doing it. McCabe's wife, Dr. Jill McCabe, received campaign funds tied to Clinton, which drew criticism from Trump. He questioned McCabe's impartiality and accused him. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Borat. Thank you so much. Margaret Goodlander is Jake Sullivan's spouse, and she did win. She did win this time. And you have to look at that video. The Chinese American lady, very strong accent, but still she made her points very forcefully. McCabe was placed on terminal leave in 2018, but was ultimately fired before his planned retirement amidst the ongoing political backlash. So if somebody says, look, the FBI, CIA, they're all basically Democrat Party owned, when things like this happen, right, then people are going to become even more skeptical. It's true. You can't, hide that fact. Next one, please. Robert Mueller, former FBI director, was appointed special counsel to oversee the Russia investigation after AG, that is Attorney General Jeff Sessions' recusal. His investigation led to charges against 4 former Trump campaign officials, though none directly linked to election misconduct. And some of them turned approver, and that's how Trump got criminally indicted in that case, about 34 counts in New York City. That saga is going to continue. Just wait and see, because that's like one of the last straws for the Democrats to try and keep Trump from becoming president. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page filed lawsuits. See, the ulta chor kotwal ko dante thing. They filed lawsuits against the DOJ and the FBI, alleging violations of their privacy rights due to the public release of their private text messages. Both allege that the DOJ's disclosure of their private text messages constitutes violations of the Privacy Act, which safeguards personal information held by federal agencies. In July 2024, the Department of Justice, this is your money and my money, taxpayer money, agreed to pay a total of $2 million to settle legal claims by Strzok Page over the DOJ's release of text messages the pair exchanged. Peter got 1.2 million and she got 800,000. This begs the question, are you allowed to have affairs while you are investigating? Does that cross any line? At least ethically it does. Because what happens is, you start thinking as one. And your job is to actually find the truth. So these are all my questions, my doubts. Okay, you can call me a conservative. I don't care. I mean, basically, it's a common sense question. The two people are investigating a case and they have an affair and they are in different departments, and they are also exchanging 50,000 text messages. Do the average, right? 50,000 over a period of 700 days. 700 text messages a day sounds a little high. Mueller report, in the end, he said that the US election did not lead to criminal charges against the then President Donald Trump or his campaign. So essentially, he did not say that the President Trump himself had a hand in it, but it said that Russia had indeed interfered in the election through a campaign of disinformation, social media manipulation, and cyber attacks aimed at this. I told you about this, right? That if you go back and look at some of Obama's tweets to Mark Zuckerberg, you will see that, hey, listen, you yourself are entertaining thoughts of running for the presidency of the United States, but this is what has been accused of your organization. So something to ponder, I guess. Okay. Kashyap Pramod Vinod Patel, more popularly known as Kash Patel. So I was right. There was a Vinod in the name. Next one. Okay, so Mueller's report found that while there were contacts between Trump associates and Russian individuals, there was not enough evidence to prove that the Trump campaign, knowingly conspired with the Russians. The findings led to widespread debate and criticism on both sides of the spectrum, with supporters seeing it as an exoneration of Trump and opponents concerned about unanswered questions on foreign interference. China has crossed that and gone beyond. I mean, I can tell you with certainty that that's what happened in 2020. Of course, people are still in denial about it. What can I say? Look at the number of votes polled. How is it that 10 million extra votes were cast in Biden's name? This is the one chart that we all look at. The total number of votes cast for the Democratic presidential nominee and the Republican presidential nominee. That's where they will not be able to explain how that happened. Next one, please. So that brings us to a close of our slide deck. I hope you understand where things come from. One book can make a whole lot of difference because it shows that there is something, there's something rotten in the state of Denmark, to quote William Shakespeare. This is there are a lot of questions that I'd like to take now, and then hopefully we can wrap it up in 5-10 minutes. Magnet Ranga wants to know, we are proud of PIOs, persons of Indian origin, getting into positions of power, but they would be working in the interest of US, and rightly so too. Kamala was hardly, if any, at all favorable to Bharat or its diaspora? Why don't you talk about Rishi Sunak? How much was he India friendly? After all, his father-in-law is one of the richest people in India, Narayan Murthy. So these are all, the job requires you to do the job, you discharge it to the best of your ability. That you are of a certain origin is just something that is probably fifth or sixth one. It may happen in some gray case where you may actually know something more than what the facts are presented in front of you. Next one, please. Sagar Jackie wants to know, Sree Iyer ji, will Tulsi Gabbard get a place in the Trump cabinet? If yes, which position is she likely to get? I have no idea, Sagar. These things are difficult to explain. Next one, please. Okay, someone is saying, Abhay is saying that it is 70 messages per day, not 700. Do the math, guys. 50,000 text messages over a period of 12 months or something like that. It's okay, whatever the number is, it's still high. 70 messages is still high. My thumbs will hurt if I have to type so many messages. Maulana Haramuddin al-election wadi. Sree, does Doge have anything to do with Dogecoin? Well, looks like Elon Musk has been one of the promoters of Dogecoin. So that's why people are drawing that inference. Next one, please. He wants to know, Kash Patel will be undoing of FBI. He might leak all Democrats' files. Well, he has talked in one interview that he is going to expose things like the assassination of John F. Kennedy and so on. I don't know. Sometimes one article here and there, one interview here and there could actually ruin your candidacy. So we'll see. SR, sir, no role yet by Trump for Kash. Why? Well, you have to wait for things to settle down. There could be some other things going on. Betting process itself takes time. So, and people who don't like you, who are afraid that their future will be jeopardized, they'll try and plant something in the media and hope that the Republican decision-making people pick it up and then try to decide. Lots of things that go into an appointment. Next one, please. Partha P wants to know. Partha, thank you so much. I was worried Sunak would be made to prove his loyalty to UK by anti-India stand. I don't know much about Indian Americans. Is it possible here? I don't think so, Partha. These are all, basically speculation. You have a job, you have a loyalty, and you have to do what that job requires you to do. And if you don't do that, you're incompetent. You will get fired. Next one. Sanat Kolhatkar wants to know, when can Kash Patel publish the list of clients of Jeffrey Epstein? Well, how do you know that a certain Trump is not there in that list? Next one. Manov-san wants to know, Pannun seems to have fled USA, now hiding in Canada. Is he afraid too? He's now threatening Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. Is Deep State putting him up to this, hoping to trigger 1984 type situation? It's possible. You also saw a lot of Sikhs in Delhi, come out in protest against this. The people in Sikhs in Canada also are coming out against this Khotastanis, the KKK. I mean, you have a clown as their, leader. What can I say? You vote for a clown, you get a circus. That's what you're getting now. Ajay Oza, sir, I am from Bharat and I've seen few videos which says Biden, Obama will not allow the swearing-in ceremony to happen. They'll play dirty game with President Trump. True. The Constitution is very clear about this. And this mandate is also very clear. There is nothing that's going to stop him from becoming president. They may have some legal things, but then if there is a legal verdict, that will be challenged in the Supreme Court of the United States. We have to see what happens. Next one. Sanat Kolhatkar wants to know, when can we expect Elmer Yuan back in PGurus? Soon. Next. Thank you, Rakesh Sharma. Always a great job, Sree. Thanks for the latest info. Thank you so much. Dhanyawadaha. Satya wants to know, de-dollarization in India now. It will take a little bit of time before clarity emerges in this. I think KSA, UAE, these are countries that are probably a little bit rattled also with what has happened in the United States results. Next one, please. Palak Punamia wants to know, IRG, who will win the war, Iran or USA? Forget Israel. Compare USA with Iran. There's no contest. Iran doesn't have anything. They are all using Chinese weaponry and whatever they thought they had, that's all been destroyed. I don't know. Just wait for some more time and you'll know. Well, that brings us to a close of today's program. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.